All right, what's happening, everybody? NBA season started yesterday. Um, First games of the season. Very fortuitous that is the first video on this channel. Um, like it says in the description, we're going to talk everything. We're going to talk uh, men's professional hoops, women's professional hoops, and college hoops, men's and women's. But we can delve into that at another time. Um, let's get into the NBA games that happened last night. We'll go in order of when they started. Celtics and Knicks were the first game of the night. Um, Celtics won 132 to Knicks 109. The Knicks did have a few people out, um, and the Celtics did have Porzingis out. Not a not a big deal. Obviously, the Celtics smashed the Knicks. We can start on the positive side. The Celtics played like the champs, man. They played really well. They were moving the ball. They were just showcasing everything that they did in their finals run. And Jason and Jalen really came out with a chip on their shoulder. I don't know if that's going to sustain throughout the whole season or this was just a statement win, a statement performance for them. Um, but they played really good. Um, JT had 37, 8 for 11 from three, 10 assists, 4 rebounds. Only played 30 minutes. Um, Jaylen Brown had 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 for 9 from three. They both took 18 shots. Jason was 14 for 18. Jaylen was 7 for 18. And they played like the champs, man. They played very, very well. They played um they played like they were going for a repeat. Like the season didn't end. They just played like it was the finals again. They had a lot of fun though. You could tell they were having fun. They were moving the ball. Um, Joe Mazzulla. I don't know if it's just Joe Mazzulla or the whole the whole team, but they played like they really wanted to show everybody that nothing had changed. They're still at the top of the East. They moved the ball well. They played hard. You could obviously tell that they weren't going crazy because it was the first game. There's 81 left, but yeah, they were just out there doing their thing. And realistically, I know it's only game one of 81, but I can't see when they're playing like this, and they didn't have Porzingis, so it adds a different dimension when they do have Porzingis. But I can't see anybody unless the Sixers really show me something when Joel and Paul come back. I don't think the Bucks are any match. Chris Middleton's already injured. Um, Dame is a little bit older, and Giannis seems a little impatient, or frustrated with the team. Um, the Knicks, we can move to the Knicks from here. The Knicks, the Knicks played bad, but they played like a team that just got a new guy a couple weeks ago. Played like a team that we have a bunch of guys injured as well. Jericho Sims got minutes, so that's how bad it is for them at times out there. Um, they played good defense at times. They had really good moments, really good moments, and you really couldn't you couldn't see it transform into a win because they were so undermanned. Um, Miles McBride came to play. He balled out. He balled out really well. Um, I can actually look at his stats instead of just telling you, but I could tell you what he actually freaking did. McBride, 22, 4 for 5 from 3, 8 for 10 in only 26 minutes. Um, I'm familiar with Miles McBride's game. I'm very familiar with his game. I've gone to a couple Knicks games myself. I've seen him in person. He's a baller. Um, I think, because I think MIP. Well, I'm gonna say this. Let me say what I was gonna say first. I think Miles McBride has a chance to go for MIP. I think MIP should only it shouldn't count for players going from their first year to their second year because you're supposed to either have a jump or a slump. It shouldn't be a surprise. It should be for guys in their third to fourth year, fourth to fifth year, whatever to whatever year. And Miles McBride has been in this league a little bit now, and if he can get consistent minutes, um, I know obviously there's guys that play the same spot. There's Bridges, there's Payne, there's Hart. I know Hart's more of a 4-3, but we'll slide him in at the two at times. Um, I really think McBride with proper minutes and with what Towns brings and with what Bridges looked like last night, because Bridges looked really bad. I think he has a chance to really show everybody, hey, I'm a baller, and not just New York fans know it, not just teams that see him a lot know it. I think he has a chance to do that. Um, moving to the big questions, the big acquisitions of the offseason. We'll go in order of Bridges to Towns. Bridges played terribly. He had 16 points, 2 assists, no rebounds, no rebounds. 2 for 7 from three, 7 for 13 overall in 35 minutes. Um, he played he played bad. You could tell he was hesitant. If you've been on Twitter, you've been on Instagram, or you've been on Reddit, um, you can see his jumper is absolutely broken. Absolutely. I don't know what he did to it. I don't know who did that, but whoever did that needs to be put in jail. They need to be put on Rikers Island for that. That's a crime. That's a crime what what that person did, because that was bad. Um, you just go look at the clips, go look at the highlights or the lowlights of Miles Bridges last night. Um, he just he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and it affected his whole game. And as somebody who has watched Mikal Bridges, watched him at Villanova, watched him when he was with the Suns. Obviously, you didn't see too much of him in Brooklyn because they weren't doing much, but I've watched him a lot. His jumper is indeed broken. It is very, very broken. And I don't know why you would break what wasn't broken or try to fix what wasn't broken. It just looks it looks bad. Like when a jumper looks bad and goes in, you can almost excuse it. But when it looks bad and it's not going in, oh boy, it's not good. Um, the 2 for 7. I mean, it could just be a one bad night, but I'm no shot doctor. I'm not lethal shooter. I'm not. I'm not one of those guys. I watch the game. I've been watching the game for 10 years. When it looks bad, it looks bad, and you're gonna get made fun of it. And I don't think Miles is ever gonna, especially in New York. I know he was in Brooklyn last year, but the New York Knicks are not the Brooklyn Nets. You're gonna get ripped apart every time. They're gonna be memes. I already saw a meme. Um, I don't want to say it, but I saw a meme. If you've seen it, I think you know what I'm alluding to. Um, but it's bad. Jalen Brunson showed up, always reliable. 22 points, 9 for 14 in 25 minutes. Tibbs sat him, and they were losing the game by the third quarter. They said, "Go sit down." Hart was 12 points. Didn't make a 3 pointer. 4 for 6 overall. Um, Campaign came in, did campaign things, and not much to talk about for them. they were just bad overall. They were 11 for 30 overall from 3-point range, 43 for 60 or 78 overall from field goal. And on the flip side, the Celtics tied a season, I believe, a season opener record. Just a season opener record, not even like a champion, like ring night stuff. They were. It looks bad now, but they were 26 for they were 29 for 61 from three. Needed one more three to break the record. They would need the 30th make, and the 48 for 95 from field goal in general. Um, I think that's it. I mean, it was the worst. It was the worst game. The Lakers and Wolves had a better game, but I could see how the NBA schedule makers. Obviously, you can't foresee the cat trade, where they thought, oh, if the Knicks are healthy, it's going to be a battle. I don't think Julius Randle or Dante DiVincenzo was helping this. I think they were going to get smacked either way. I think this was the layup for the Celtics. Um, and I really think Jalen and JT, they heard the chatter this summer. And I hate to use the term revenge tour because that's like corny, but it seemed like they wanted to come out at least this first game and just say, hey, we did hear it. This is what we can do as a duo. Um, so yeah, that's really it for that game. Um, I mean, we could talk about Cat, but what is there to say about Cat? This is what you kind of expect from Cat at this point. I know it's the first game, it might be an overreaction. A lot of this is overreaction though, because it's the first game. Who cares about the first game? Nobody's gonna care about the first game, right? But this is what you expect from Cat. Cat to not show up in big moments. Cat to not take on a challenge, and I sort of understand that it's the first game on a new team where you're not the guy yet again. Um, it 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 just it rings hollow. I don't have to harp on it too much. Cat is Cat, and Cat will always be Cat. Um, moving on to game number 2 of the night. Timberwolves at Lakers. Um, it's gonna sound like I'm glazing the Lakers this whole time. I am not a I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm not a LeBron stan. I appreciate what he's done for the game of basketball. What he um what he did last night with his son. We'll touch on that, but I I think the first thing I need to say is if you listen to JJ Redick's podcast at all before he was a coach, you could tell there were some things that he absolutely despised about just basketball in general and how coaches coach the game. You could tell that he was really into the how do I say this? Into the really into the concepts. The concepts that he would talk about always intrigued me, and I was a big fan of him and Tommy Alter on their podcast. Great stuff. Even just him talking about basketball, I could listen to it all day. Um, but their new offense, the Lakers' new offense, freaking amazing. It's an amazing offense, and it's gonna ebb and flow. There are gonna be games where LeBron is just like, "F this, I'm taking over. I'm LeBron James. I'm gonna do what I need to do for this team." And those things will happen. But I think for Lakers fans, the biggest thing was always at least he's not Darvin freaking Ham. At least he's not a. I can't even say that. I want to say something funny, but I don't want to say it. I'm trying to get this channel monetized. I can't say that. um, At least he's not Darvin Ham, and Darvin Ham was a I can't even say polarizing figure. He was just bad. He made Laker games unwatchable, and JJ has made at least the first game of 81 games watchable. The new offense, the the spread, the openness of the floor for AD, for LeBron James, um, incredible, incredible. Um, on the defensive end, they ran a zone at some point. I don't remember when, but they ran a zone. I haven't seen a zone ran by a high level team in quite a while. That's my laptop charging. um, in a long time. I'm not watching every what do you call it, every team, but to be for a defense to be running a zone at a high level is very intriguing. Um, they had 80 at the top, and the first time they ran it, it did result in the corner three. But I think with time and actually getting reps, because it's different than just running, you know, a practice, and you know where it's going. You know, it's gonna swing to the right corner. Make sure you get to the right corner. It's gonna Other teams are just gonna do what they do, and they're gonna swing it no matter what, and you have to find a way to defend it. But if they're gonna run a zone, I think that's good for LeBron. That's good for AD. Um, that's good for a guy like Austin Reeves, who looked great last night. He looked great. I think he had a bunch of boards. I have to look it up. Um, he just played well though. You could tell he was more comfortable. He could tell that he was told you were going to be a starter. We're not gonna bring you off the bench. We're not gonna hey yo no diddy jerk you around. We're not gonna. You are a starter unless there's some incredible like unfair matchup. You are the starter. You know, and I'm looking up the box score. So pardon me while I do this. Um, the box score. This is very bad of me. I didn't pull it up before. But Austin Reeves looked great. Had a hell of a night. I think a lot of these guys feel reinvented. They feel rejuvenated. Rejuvenated. That's the word. Rejuvenated. Um, and I think that's really good for JJ to come in and instill confidence and instill an actual system, because I have no idea what Darvin Ham was running last year. Darvin Ham was like throwing stuff at the wall, and none of it stuck. Um, Austin Reeves did end with 9 rebounds, 1 rebound short of a double double. Um, didn't hit a three. You expect him to hit more threes, but he did the right things. And as a team, they crashed the boards. They did a lot of good things out there. Um, I'm just looking at the box score. We'll get into all that. There's a lot to go over with the Lakers. D'Angelo, to get the bad stuff out of the way first. D'Angelo, still D'Angelo Russell. Um, I feel bad for the guy that it doesn't feel like he's ever gonna have a team that really needs his skills, because he's a primary scoring guard, and when he's not scoring, he's not really doing anything else. He had some good moments doing other things, but that could be fool's gold. At the beginning of the season, everybody wants to try on defense. Everybody wants to make the extra pass, and then once you get to about game like 40 or 50, roles have been established, the hierarchy has been established, and if D'Angelo's at the bottom of the hierarchy again, and he's not producing again, I think he's out of here. He played 36 minutes. He was 4 for 12, 4 for 14 from field goal, and 0 for 5. I'm reading Austin's. My bad. He was 4 for 12 from the field goal, just in general, and 1 for 7 from three. Had 1 rebound, 5 assists, 9 points. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about. Um, a guy to write home about though is Rui Hachimura. Rui Hachimura looked incredible. He looked great. He had 18 points. He had 1 assist. He had 5 rebounds. He was one for. I'm, I can't fucking read these fucking things. He had 18 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds, 1 for 4 from three. He was 7 for 14 overall. He played 35 minutes. Um, he looked reinvented. He looked rejuvenated. He looked like a different. He looked like a different player. He didn't even look like Rui Hachimura when he was on the Wizards. He just looked like he finally looked like a pro. Because when he was on the Wizards, when you're bad, you can't really look like a pro when you're bad. When the team's bad, I should say, because everybody will say, "Oh, it's empty stats, it's empty numbers," which I don't believe in. But that's what people on Twitter would say. That's what people on Reddit will say. Um, I just think it's um it's interesting to see him actually have a role. He was told this is going to be your role by JJ. He was told this we're going to run some different things. This is what you're good at. This is what we need you to improve at. And you can tell he's really bought in. He's one of those guys that's really bought in. Um, I, I think I think in some spots, I think LeBron is going to rest some games. I think Rui's very important to be this fourth guy, and then on nights where LeBron rests, be the third guy. Because you look at the hierarchy of the team right now, it's probably Davis, Reeves, and then Rui. That was the starting five. That was the starting four plus Russell. Starting five. Russell's not going to be your third guy. Maybe a game here and there, but he's never going to be your third guy on a road trip. Like let's say like a 5 game road trip. He's never going to be your guy. He's just not. I'm not a D'Angelo Russell hater. He was on my team at one point. Watching him is very frustrating, and I can't really explain it. You just have to watch him. You just have to watch him. He's just a frustrating player to watch because you can see all the potential, but all the bad things he does. And granted, he's a baller. He'll ball 1-on-1. Basketball is a team sport. When you're playing with LeBron James, you're playing with Anthony Davis. Mistakes need to be minimal, and you almost need to be perfect. And if you're not giving it on defense, like Reeves, Rui, LeBron, older, still gives a little bit on defense. Davis, we're gonna get to Davis. Davis gave it on defense. Jackson Hayes gave it on defense. Gabe Vincent, a little shorter, but tries. Max Christie tries. Bronny James, supposed to be a defensive guard. He played 3 minutes. I couldn't tell you if he was or not at this level. Dalton Connect, um, probably not the best defender, but his offense outweighs his defense, so that's the positive. Um, to touch back on it, they were really crashing the boards. They're really doing well. Um, the Lakers' effort was A plus plus. It was an A plus plus. It was really good. Um, again, it's the first game. Everybody wants to do the right things the first game. Everyone wants to look good the first game. It's game 40, it's game 50, it's game 60 that you're like, are you going to are you going to keep doing this long term? Has JJ instilled it enough in this team, in this young slash old group that hey, we need to do this every night. Just one night out of 81 is not good enough. And they're not going to be able to do it every night. There are going to be matchups that they get exploited, that nothing works. And JJ is a young coach. This is his first team. This was his first game. There were going to be things thrown at him by higher level coaches that he's just not going to be able to. He doesn't have if he doesn't have the manpower or he doesn't have the right lineup. Some guys are out. It's just going to be the way it is for this team. It's going to be a roller coaster, but I think we can touch on Bronny and LeBron. We're here already. Bronny checked in at the 4 minute mark in the second quarter. Was a big deal. Claps, applause, shouts, camera pans to the family, and all that stuff. Um, Touching the point I was going to make, having Bronny on the team might be more of a positive, or even just around the team. Even if he does eventually go to the G League, just around the team is good for LeBron because it keeps him young and it keeps him grounded. Because when you're at work, you work, right? And I'm not questioning LeBron's work ethic. I don't think anybody can ever question his work ethic. When he's at work, but then you look over and you see a kid, you're like, damn, I don't have any kids, but I assume that's what it's like. You go, damn, I'm really here with my kid. I'm gonna enjoy this moment, right? And it kind of brings you back down to earth. And it's sort of, it's also Father Time. The past like 4 or 5 years has been tapping him on the shoulder, like, hey, I'm still here, man. I'm still here. This is Father Time tapping him on the shoulder again and saying, look, your kid's already here. He's here. Is he gonna carry on your legacy? I don't know. I don't think he has to. I think him being in the league already is a huge accomplishment. But I think it's good for LeBron because it keeps him more grounded. It keeps him almost more in reality and not so much worried about the rat race of it all. More so worried about, hey, I'm here. I'm enjoying the moment. It's good. And for him to be that relaxed and that, I won't say removed, but not so highly focused on the task at hand, leaves room for Anthony freaking Davis to come in and do his thing. Because AD showed everything that everybody thought he could ever be in one game. He looked phenomenal. Fuck, I'm trying not to sneeze. He looked phenomenal. 36 points, 16 boards, 1 for 3 from 3, 11 for 23 overall, played 38 minutes. Um, just a monster game. Watching it, I was like, what year is it? Like, it was like I was watching fucking um, Pelicans AD. It was really good. It was really good. And it it put a smile on my face because for the first time it actually looked like AD could finally take the torch from LeBron. He could finally do it at age whatever. He could finally do it. And that made me really happy because I think everybody wants AD to do well. Even if he is on the Lakers, even if the Lakers aren't the most popular franchise for other fans. You want to see AD do well. He's been through so much. He's been injured. He has the one ring. He has no individual achievements outside of all-star appearances and all NBAs and all defenses. I think that man needs a trophy for his own. I think he needs a defensive player of the year, an MVP. MVP is a stretch. I won't go that far quite yet because it's the first game of the season and this might be an apparition. But yeah, great game for AD. Just some quick hits about the Lakers. Um, then we'll go to the Wolves. Then we'll get out of here. Um, don't connect. X Factor. They said it on the broadcast. I'll repeat it here. Don't connect's gonna be a huge X factor. Again, this team is gonna rest guys. They're gonna have games where guys are nursing like I sprained my finger. Somebody gets to get more minutes. Don't connect is gonna be huge for them. The 3-point shooting. I didn't watch him at Tennessee, but he obviously showed enough, showed a lot that the Lakers were like, hey, we need another white boy out here that shoots. So he's good. The Lakers broke the opening night streak they had since 2016. They never won a game. An opening night game since then, they won in spectacular fashion. And now we go to the Timberwolves. And I'm going to talk about the Timberwolves and the Knicks together because they're so intertwined this season with such a big trade. Um, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I know it's the first game. I know things are gonna ebb and flow. Ant looks like he needs more help. He looks like he needs more help. I'm gonna take a drink. He looks like he needs more help. It looks so. It looked bad. It looked really bad, and I can't even describe. It just felt like the ball would either stick too much or it wouldn't move enough, or they were moving it too much. And I'll give Randall credit. Randall was passing the ball. He was doing his thing. But Randall to me seems that has always been a rhythm guy. And when he isn't in his rhythm and you ask him and he tries to get in his rhythm, it's gonna take 2, 3 misses for him to get string five together in a row. And you, this team is gonna be a lot of close games, and they're not gonna be able to do that. They're not gonna be able to do that. Um, I don't think I saw 1 minute of their rookie. What's his name? Dillingham. I don't think I saw 1 minute of him. He might have checked in for a minute. I didn't see it. Um, Let me see here. Did he check in? No, didn't play. I only say that because Mike Conley did Mike Conley thing. He was always a great team player, but they definitely need a more permanent solution there because Dillingham's going to be a bit of a project. You're going to have to wait on him 2, 3 years. Um, and and what needs to happen is it's not good enough for you to go to a Western Conference Finals. You want to repeat that success. And I'm not saying go overboard like the Suns did, but I would shop around more immediately now for somebody. Guys that come to the top of my head immediately. Anthony Simons, Scoot, um, yeah, those are guys that pop out immediately. Um, I think Randall will have a good year. I just don't think he's the solution here. I think both these teams, and this isn't a hot take, I saw it this morning on Twitter. Both teams lost this trade. They both look worse. I think the Knicks will have a better season, but I think the Wolves made a just a bad mistake. DiVincenzo looked nervous. He didn't look like he was ready for the moment, but I'll give him a pass because this was one of his first games as one of the guys. I'll give him a pass. But Ant probably needs. I'm not saying Ant. They could go the whole season and not make a change, and Ant could be in MVP conversations because his numbers look amazing, but the team could be bad. And when the team looks bad and your star player is in MVP conversations, and there's almost no way forward for the team because Rudy Gobert did sign a 3-year extension with $110 million. So they're stuck with him for. I would have to pull up Sports Track. I don't even sure if they updated it yet, but he's there for a while. And I'm not a Rudy Gobert hater. I'm a Rudy Gobert realist. I think Rudy has his he did some good things last night, but man, every year that goes by, he just looks worse and worse against the top bigs in the league. He looks worse and worse. Jokic cooks him every time. I'm not sure if that's true by the numbers, but in my mind, whenever I see Gobert on Jokic, in my mind, I just see easy bucket. AD cooked him last night. Um, this might be crazy to say. Chet, give Chet a couple years, Chet will cook Rudy Gobert. I said it. Wemby will cook Gobert, his fellow Frenchman. It just looks bad. And with the whole other shit, other stuff going on with the who owns the team, who's going to own the team in the future, are guys going to get moved simply because that's what happens when a new owner comes in? Oh, that's not my guy. That's not my coach. Let's get rid of him. He fails once more. Let's get him out of here. Let's get him out of here. I don't know. Um, Overall, though, nobody played good. Ant had 27. He was 5 for 13 and 10 for 25. He hit some ridiculous shots. He played 41 minutes. They were terrible without him. Um, McDaniels, no show. Don't expect a lot on offense, though. Randall, 16 points. Gobert, 13, 14 rebounds. And he got dunked on and got blocked by AD. Dante DiVincenzo, 10 points. Joe Ingles, no show, no factor. Nasri didn't have the greatest game, but you could see why the Timberwolves chose him over Cap. Um, Alexander Walker, very good game. Very, very good game in only 28 minutes, 14 points, 3 for 4, 5 for 7 overall, 5 rebounds. Um, yeah, not the best night for the Wolves, not the best opening night. I hope their home opener is better. Um, but yeah. All right. Any other things on the docket? I'll say this, and I'll give Chris Finch the benefit of the doubt because if anybody, if anybody could make Gobert and Cat work, I think Chris Finch can make Randall and Gobert work. Does he have enough time to do it? Is it gonna look good after All-Star break? After they have a bit of time together and this and that? Perhaps. But I think I trust Chris Finch because he showed a lot that he could make these awkward fits work. Um and yeah, I think that's it. I think we touched on opening night, man. This was supposed to be a 30-minute video, it's a 40-minute video. It's the first video. I don't know how long it's gonna take to upload. And if somebody watches it, thank you to hear me yap about the NBA opening night. Um, we can, however, look forward to tonight, um, and that video will be up tomorrow. I'm always going to record these um, the morning after because I'm on the East Coast. I'm not recording a video at 12:30 at night, at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I am not doing that. Um, Today, there's a bunch of games today. Pacers at Pistons, Magic. Actually, I don't know where these are at, so I'm not gonna say that. Um, Cavs, Raptors, Nets, Hawks, Bucks, Sixers. That's a primetime game, I believe. Hornets, Rockets, Bulls, Pelicans, Grizzlies, Jazz, Suns, Clippers. That might be a primetime game too. I don't know. Warriors, Blazers. Um, Let me. I want to see. Fuck. I have to pull it up. I want to see. Let me turn this off. Oh, one other thing about the Lakers Wolves game. This is a quote from Rui Hachimura. I just saw this. Um, we talked about Julius Randle. He sometimes is just standing there and stuff. Dot dot dot. We got to kind of use that Rui Hachimura on why he was so aggressive versus the Timberwolves. Just food for thought. Right there. Um, yeah, two primetime games. Bucks 76ers, Suns, Lakers, Clippers, Intuit Dome. Tonight, with Paul George and Joel out, I'm taking the Bucks. I would like to see a Tyrese Maxey masterclass. I just don't think it's gonna happen game one. If it does, take the over on his points because he's gonna put up points, man. And he's gonna have Dame guarding him probably, or no, because I think Gary Trent's injured. So yeah, Dame might be guarding him. Let's take the over on his points. Suns Clippers. I'm gonna take the Suns, man. Suns are gonna come. Suns are gonna come out and do what the Celtics did to the Knicks. That's my hot take of the day. Not really hot, more lukewarm. Um, but yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Um, if somebody's watching this or listening to this, even if you have it on the background, consider subscribing, like the video, um, and there will be much more content on the way. And there will be not just game to game coverage. I have some other ideas floating around in my head, and we'll see if we can make them happen. Probably not these first 2 weeks, but once I get a rhythm going and once I get these reps in, um, we'll get there and we'll have fun. All right. So that's it. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, and I will see y'all tomorrow to talk about tonight's games. All right. Cheers.